What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night 9. I am Matt Minder, CEO, co-founder of the APT, also known as Director of Everything, if you're talking to our good friend Jeff Brodsky. I'm here with Matt Fegley, who is in his normal spot, the golf course, screwing around. He's at Aviara, which we'll be at in just a few short weeks. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Fegley?
I'm doing well, man. Had to find some relatively, hopefully reliable California internet out here. So,
There
you
you
know,
go. I love it.
getting a look at the golf course, dude. It's this place is a lovely place. So it's gonna be fun.
Nice. Well, we're also joined tonight. We got Tim Harbin, Atlanta and Birmingham, and Arthur Miller Jr. He didn't put his chapter on there. I don't know. Are you embarrassed by Memphis or what?
Nah, never that, man. I love to represent Memphis.
Okay.
This.
Just making sure you always take good care of Chris and myself when we drive through town. But it's good to be here, man. Thursday night 9. Getting back in the swing of things. I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks on the travel side of things. But a couple weeks at home, it's going to be good. We'll recap the Red Rock Championship. Man, I got to tell you, I love Utah and Black Desert Resort. What a cool place that was. Can't wait to, talk through some of our experiences and be able to introduce our members to that place. Every hole was a picture worth taking. What a beautiful resort. But getting into the format of Thursday Night 9, not giving too much away, 9 topics, about 5 minutes each, give or take. Chris will keep us online with pace of play. A lot of things going on through. I do want to say in the opening, if you've been in the APT members group today, I appreciate your all's feedback on pace of play. I just want to give a disclaimer. When we mean by the players, for the players, we are serious. That does mean you do get to give input. And sometimes we'll share ideas, whether there are ideas or not. You don't need to worry. We're not going to start finding a bunch of people, but just ask the question mainly to see what gets you to care about pace of play and what can we do as a tour to make it better. Certainly, everybody knows there's a slow player on their tour. You can name them. Don't put them in the chat. Or do. I really don't care. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That would be mean. But what can we do as a tour to make it better? And we're going to be continuing to talk about that and focus on that as a player issue. So there we go. But we got some great events this weekend coming up. We can cover a few of those. I haven't looked at my notes. This is usually the part where Fegley goes, but you're on the golf course. Do you want to handle this, Fegs?
There is a huge list. I mean, we got Charlotte, East Tennessee at Avalon. I guess that's a kickoff, right?
It's
the startup. We got
some good ones.
Phoenix, Central PA, SoCal, Portland. Portland's kicking off. So I'm trying to sort through the list. Portland at Stone Creek is kicking off. Virginia Capital's got another event. Atlanta's got another event. Birmingham. Chicago is kicking off.
Dude, that place, by the way,
we've got some kickoffs. Oh, and New Jersey.
Dude, so a couple things. Chicago spoiled this weekend. Blackstone and Marengo, some of the fastest greens I've ever played on anywhere in the country. I'll never forget, I showed up there for a state am qualifier one year. It's as far north as you can get in Illinois before you go into Wisconsin. And I showed up there at a 20-foot putt uphill on the putting green, and I knocked 2 balls off the green in a row. The greens were so fast. And I was like, okay, let's roll. So guys are in for a treat this weekend, the Masters Challenge. And I'll be honest, I've been able to be out to the Tillinghast Championship the last 2 years. Won't get there this year because I'll be in Phoenix for the Camelback Cup on Wednesday. Taking Dad to a little sommelier class Monday and Tuesday in Phoenix. So you'll see us running around. So Phoenix members, if you want to hang out, hit me up. Papa Steve and I will be out running around Scottsdale. It'll be a good time, little getaway. But man, Tillinghast Championship at Shacklemaxon, that is a great golf course. I love that place. Mm-hmm. So what a cool spot to kick off. I know Dan's got a huge field for that elevated event to start the year in New Jersey. It's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. And again, for those of you that I didn't mention, my apologies.
There's a lot on here.
But we have the scroll. We have the scrolling list at the bottom.
Yeah, NorCal's at Silverado this weekend. Speaking of wine.
No, he had pushed it back.
Pushed it back. Gotcha. Never mind.
Mhm.
All about it. So
Never mind.
anyways, we're going to jump right into hole number one. We'll get back to the pace of play thing. It's going to be a great topic of conversation. With a recap from Red Rock, I know I at least have to start this one because great event at Red Rock. First of all, raised over $1,000 for Folds of Honor. The 19th hole was great. We're getting all those payments sent out. I believe 8 D1 and D2 guys hit the ball within the 6-foot circle on the 19th hole for a payout of $46 each. And in 3, 4, and 5,
Nice.
Mark Ammon was the only one to hit it in between. So he took home over $600. So
nice.
He's enjoying that payment in Venmo today. In Division 1, we saw a battle between the reigning North American champion in Division 1 and the reigning North American champion in Division 2. And at a 2-day total of +9, Matt Fegley earned himself a permanent ticket to Division 1 as a major champion. Congratulations, Mr. Fegley. I'm actually really proud of you. I pick on Phil most of the time on this show about golf, but I remember the first time I played with you. It was in 2021. I was recruiting Phil Cackamies to come to the Golf Week tour. We had flown out to SoCal to meet you. First time I met you, we got to play this great little golf course called Pasatiempo, if anybody's ever heard of it. Yep. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It is Alistair McKenzie's favorite golf course. If you don't know who Alistair McKenzie is, he's the guy that designed Augusta National. So kind of a big deal. And it was his favorite course he ever built. First time I met Fegley. And I'll be honest, dude, you were like a 10. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't walk away saying, man, that guy could be in D1. And to watch how you've worked on your game, pretty freaking awesome. So congratulations. D1 champ, and yes, you're staying in D1 now. Not that that's a big deal, because you want that, which I love. We love that. We love the example setting, but I know you've been working really hard on your game, and it is paying off. So congratulations.
Thank you, man. It was a lot of fun, and you know, we kind of had. If you look at the individual scores at Black Desert on the second day, I did kind of have a brain fart, but
yeah, you won with a 9 on 13. I was like, man, the wheels are coming off.
Oh. We got a couple tourniquets out, threw the wheels back on, and
I would have made fun of you for the 9, but I'm pretty sure I made a 9 on that hole last year. So
see, that golf course, if there was one thing that it was easy to do,
make a 9.
If you were not protected by the triple bogey, it was very easy to make very high scores.
Correct.
Very.
You could get in some very bad spots there very quickly. So, but anyways, moving on so Chris doesn't yell at me about pace of play. Division 2,
that's right. Staying
in Utah. Brandon Bailiff had a great round, 75 round of the day, taking it home at +8. Of course, Chris is only sending me last names, so I'm trying not to screw this up because the last name I'm thinking of definitely wasn't at,
it was
the event.
Division 3 was Tyler Moffitt.
I almost said Kyle for a second. I'm like, I know Kyle wasn't there. So there we go.
There you go.
But played great. Once again, shot a great final round 80, which is really playing golf around Black Desert. Michael Dunn, same thing. Higher round 1, 85 in round 2. Gets it done in Division 4, +29. Division 5, Brett Strong came from 7 shots back, shooting 91 in the final round to get it done over Jim Dean. That was a great. Rocky Dare, I've got his trophy for senior net, +4, getting it done. And, I just think this is bad for business when the handicaps are, wins open net. It was a 2 over par open net. And congratulations. After this tournament, this was the first time your handicap has actually been in a D1 range. You've been playing D1 for 5 or 6 months. So
it's
you are officially promoted whether you want to be or not.
Yep.
So
Just so everybody knows, he got the same text message from the handicap committee that everybody else gets. Welcome to D1 forever, sir.
nice. We
That's
don't
right.
actually tell you welcome to D1 forever, unless you're like a +4, and then you're like sign up in Division 3, and then you're just stuck in D1 forever. So don't do that.
Yeah.
But getting into it, coming up, I know Arthur loves the next place hole too. How good is Bedford Springs, man? APT Open Championship. I know that's your spot.
Place. I've been dreaming about that place for a whole year. I promise you. I can't wait to get there and just stand on number 1 tee box and look out into the valley.
I saw you took advantage of that Omni deal too.
Yes, I did.
Your name
I
was
wasn't
on.
sure if you was gonna see that or not, but I had to jump on it.
So that block sold out. In fact, they called me the next day and they're like, I thought you said you weren't going to get many rooms in the first year. I was like, I thought everybody had accommodations. Apparently not. So they've added a bunch of rooms. If you still want to go, take advantage of the Omni deal. $249 a night at the hotel. It's one of the oldest hotels in the United States, built entirely out of wood. Super, super cool place. And compare that, go try to book that thing in June or July, and it's $750 a night. So we're at like 50% off of what they're booking it for that weekend. Going to be a great time. But like I said, the golf course, Arthur, how good is the golf course, man? I'll let you tell it. I've been telling it for years. How good is that place?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing. Like, last year, the 2 majors that I loved the most were French Lick and Bedford. Like, those golf courses, I mean, like, around here, they don't even compare to anything I ever seen around here. It's like, it's just to go up there and see all the fall colors and stuff at Bedford is just, it's a sight that everyone needs to see. Every time anybody asks me about it, I'm telling them, hey, man, you got to go. You just have to go and stand on number 1 tee box and just look at all the holes. It's amazing, man. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good time. Sold out field, Folds of Honor Friday event on Friday, 60 players. We're going to have a great time. I love how Fegley's in reverse right now. Hopefully you're using a mirror. It did not look safe. But we'll keep going in there. Gus in the chat, sick par threes. It's always fun to play classic golf courses where the number 1 handicap hole is a par 3. It's always a good time. So the 4th hole, the volcano hole at Bedford, is one you do not want to mess around with. But a lot of fun. So anyways, Bedford Springs coming up next on the schedule. That's 2.5 weeks away. So I'm jumping in right now. I got to log in to see this. Next up, Tim, we got to talk about brackets because it is over. And Tim, I regret to inform you that we did not win. In fact, Tim,
no, we did not come close.
I will tell you this: you did pick Florida to win and still got 6th place. So congratulations. That was your second bracket. So your second team. Handicaps are you came in 18th place.
Hey, it's better than I thought. I thought I might finish last.
Jersey finished in 25th, which is still better than my 27th place. And Chris got 36th place.
So now the important part. Who won?
So the winner, his second bracket won, but his first bracket got 33rd place. So can we make fun of him for that?
A little deviation from the mean there.
What? I know, we should penalize him.
A little deviation from the mean there, 1st and 33rd.
So I thought that was interesting. But Travis Glenn from Utah getting it done, winning by 3. So he's going to get a nice gift from us. We're going to send him a little bit of the new Stitch swag. Some of the new Stitch backpacks, little day traveler. Nice little value there. Send that out. It'll be really good. 2 runners up, Hunter Bay and Terry Bollenbecker's 3rd bracket.
Nice.
So we'll also get a little bit of swag from APT. A bunch of money raised for Folds of Honor. Chris Dens is saying bad things about Bedford. Don't speak that into existence, my friend. No rain last year. So what a great golf course, though. But anyways, you guys will be seeing that swag. Congratulations to those who won. Fagler and I promise we're going to be a little bit better on the ball next year of getting that bracket challenge going, like in early March. So
yeah, like maybe in early March, like when the conference tournaments start.
yeah, we'll be in good shape there. So
You can't go too early, guys. The thing doesn't set up until the week of.
That's fair.
correct.
That's fair.
So
We
well,
can do
anyway,
better than Tuesday night or Wednesday night or whatever it was.
Yeah, I missed that announcement. I didn't even get in.
I thought it was Thursday morning.
It might have been.
No one.
Anyhow,
well, anyways,
we
Go
thought
ahead,
it was
David.
done, but it wound up being set up anyhow. So people were getting emails. They're like, "No, the bracket's set up," and we were like, "Well, if our group's still set up, let's just roll with it. See
Hey,
what happens."
Folds appreciates the money. Thank you for all the
That's right.
donated to Folds for the bracket. We'll keep that thing going, make it a APT tradition, a little bit of bragging rights. But yeah, we got a lot more coming up, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back here in just a second. We got a message from our friends at Turtleson. So we are back. Love the new Turtleson shirts, by the way. Bagley, have you tried the new ones yet? Since they redesigned? Oh, they're awesome, man. The collar's great. Sleeves are a little bit shorter, a little bit better fit. Highly recommend the Turtleson. We've got a bunch of them in the APT Pro Shop. You can use the code Turtleson50, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think it's Turtleson50. You get $50 off a polo in the APT Pro Shop, aptproshop.org. So yeah, jumping in. Hole 4 is all about Memphis. Come on, Memphis. Mr. Arthur Miller Jr. So this is all about you, buddy. So appreciate you joining us tonight.
Well, we're glad. I'm glad to be on here, man. We're hoping to finally get started next week. We've been getting rained out every other week. I'm hoping we get some fortune on this.
So you've been doing the rain dance down there in Memphis, or what?
Crazy, man. Got like 10 inches of rain. It's like I've heard 3 courses of. Like I drove past one course on, I think it was Friday. Water like everywhere. Like I'm like, golly. And then we still got more rain the next day. So it's like we can't catch a break, man. But we're hopefully finally getting started next Saturday at Cherokee Valley and Olive Branch, just south of Memphis, across the state line. So this weekend I'm going to Pine Bluff though, over there with Luther, and check that course out.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Love Rob. Rob's going to do great things, down there in Arkansas. And yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about Memphis? Everybody knows Memphis for Tunica. You know what I mean? But why don't you tell a little bit courses you play, where we should come visit in Memphis, and we definitely talk about where to eat because I know that answer.
Oh yeah, you already know that answer. But yeah, we got a lot going on this year. I got a couple. Kind of got a late start on getting the schedule together, but you know how that goes. But we're working. We got most of it done. Waiting on to hear back from one course. We're going to the normals, Cherokee, Audubon, Wedgewood. Memphis National is going to be our private course this year that we hit on a Monday. We have the Tunica this year is going to be at River Bend and Tunica National. So looking forward to that. Which everybody can come down to that because we're gonna have they're doing the music fest the same weekend, so you get to go back across state line and go to the music fest and check that out, and then come back and wrap it up on Sunday in Tunica National.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
really, really fun. Well, very cool. Why don't you talk a little bit about you transition from player to chapter owner? I know you've always been around it since the very beginning. Memphis has got a rich APT history. Good old Bart, who we all love, near and dear to our hearts, was the first one to jump. He was the first chapter owner we announced. He was the first one to get his email cut off. And you went from helping him, being his right hand man, to taking over. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. I've always just loved the brand. You know, y'all take care of the brand very well. So I've always just wanted to help wherever I could, and it just led one thing led to another. Being able to take it over. The only thing about taking it over, my game went to the toilet a little bit, but we back on the incline a little bit, trying to get my game like up there like Fager. So we trying to get there, but I just like the opportunity to go from a player to running a chapter and just trying to grow it and trying to do everything I can to make it thrive. Everybody to see how good the tour is. You get to play places that you probably only dream of, some of them, and play places that are very exclusive and get all the discounts that we have available. I just it's truly, the slogan is actually a true for the tour. By the players, for the players. Let's just, it is what it is. Um, and I love that about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we appreciate all the work that you put in, and definitely bringing some little Memphis flair to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Always getting me getting on that barbecue, and um, let me tell a little bit. Where's the place to go for barbecue in Memphis? Like, let's
I
be
told
honest.
you, man, I'm gonna have to get you away from Rendezvous. It's another place that's probably a good 4 or 5 minutes away from there. That's better to me, But
It's totally fine. But there's
yeah,
APT history at Rendezvous, man.
I know it. I know you love it. But
Like, people don't realize there is barbecue sauce from Rendezvous on the original documents as we're scribbling this thing out. So we'll tell the story real quick for those that don't know. Um, right after COVID, man, the first weekend hotels were back open. Uh, Chris and Joe were running an event at Tunica National, and Jody was going to go down and play with Roger, and so invited Chris and I down. Guthrie wouldn't let me play in the tournament. I tried to sign up, and they wouldn't let me play. So I'm sitting at the hotel with Chris. We're literally watching the Ducks. We're at the Peabody Hotel, $88 a night or something stupid. It was under $90 a night. So we're staying at the Peabody Hotel. We're walking down. It's the middle of the COVID. All sports are still canceled, and our entertainment, or Chris's entertainment, I had a little bit more of a life in this. I feel like, no offense, Chris, but I do love you. Was literally watching the Ducks swim around and then get marched back up to the Palace. So everything's closed, carry out. So we sat in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, got Rendezvous every night, and just sat up there for hours and dreamed this thing up.
that is awesome, man. I'm
So
so glad that Memphis is where y'all got it started at. It's a nice place for history, for
there we
sure.
go. We do love us
It
some
is.
Memphis, man. We do. So, and it's good. I'm gonna try to get down to see y'all and played a few of your events. They're always well run, and was down at Tupelo National last year. Had a good time until I lost in the playoff to Frazier. But it is what it is.
You
So
know what? I meant to tell Frazier too. I found that footage, and I felt sorry for him right before at Macklemore when you was teasing him about his hook. So I had to go find the footage, and it will be released very soon. I'm
you're
sure he'll be happy about it. I felt sorry for the way you was messing with him about his hook, because I got a hook problem too. So I was like, you know what? I got to find this footage and get it out for Frazier, man.
oh
Let
man,
me mention too, man. That place, Macklemore, man. That place was awesome, man. Like the hospitality there was top notch. Like the rooms were very nice. The bar, like I'm gonna tell you, like I can't wait to go back to that place either. I'm starting to get like you when you say my top 10 is growing and turned into like 20 in the top 10. But I absolutely love that
Chris,
place. But
Chris, you got to save that. We're
the
saving
course,
the footage here.
the course,
Arthur, we're gonna do some putting lessons before we go
hey.
to Wacklemore next time, so you don't four putt on 18s
Oh
and
my
lose, buddy.
God! I wasn't gonna mention this. The Harvard, that's how you do me, though. He's gonna be like that. But yeah, 4.18 to lose by
Oh,
was terrible. But it is what it is. The views made up for me losing. I can promise you that. Like, never thought about playing golf on the side of a hill, cliff, mountain, ridge, whatever you want to call it. Like it was absolutely amazing though. Like just The wind was all, even with the wind though, it's like I asked the guys and they were like, that's not the norm. I thought it was the norm because it was just blowing like,
No,
But
they said it was. My favorite was I was sitting down with a pro and like his water bottle's shaking, and we're in that temporary trailer and we're like 50 feet from the cliff, and I'm like, is this safe for us to be in here? Like, how anchored is this thing?
Blow away.
So, but no, man, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, Macklemore's great. We can't wait to hopefully get invited back to that place. And what a cool spot, for sure. I just got a text from somebody at the Masters. Let's see what he said. He was, remind me what to get from the Masters again. That's an offer for merch, guys. Let's go.
There you go.
Anyways, you heard it live on the Facebook Live. No, man, but I appreciate everything you do in Memphis. It's awesome, good stuff. So now I got to check in with Timmy, Mr. Atlanta, Mr. Birmingham.
Yes, sir. Hey, first off, before we get into that, though, ask Arthur who was more sick about him four putting, me or him, because it was. I didn't want that to happen.
I had to keep a smile on my face, man. Like I really don't know how you be like I used to would go crazy on the golf course, be ready to slam club and all that. Man, that place, like I just got to a point, I'm just happy to be alive and happy to be able to play golf. And I pray every day, Lord, don't take this golf away from me. Whatever you do, don't take the game of golf away from me.
There you go.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm telling you, man, we're on a rough stretch of majors right now. Macklemore, Black Desert, Bedford, Torrey Pines, PGA National, TPC Scottsdale. I mean, I tell people, I said, we are slumming it right now on the major schedule of the APT. There's no good places to play. I'd be super disappointed. And I say that because Jody did the schedule, so I'm giving Jody credit. Normally I'd be throwing a little shade at him, but he outdid himself this year. It's really, really good. Anywhere you go is going to be a special spot. But Bedford, man, do not sleep on Bedford. That place is so good. Man. So good.
It's really unreal, like how nice that place is. Really, I mean, it's like something you see in a magazine. Really, like I don't know how you can go on each hole and take a picture for Golf Week magazine whenever you read it.
Do people even read Golf Week magazine anymore?
Nah, but like if I usually what I'll do is like if I see a course somewhere I want to go play, I look it up and see what Golf Week race is.
Oh yeah, of course. No, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on Golf Week. I'm just asking if people still read.
Most of us don't know how to anymore, Mender.
Yeah, it's called Google, my man.
But
Hey Siri, give me a picture of Macklemore. As my phone is highlighting, the AI comes up and goes, "What can I tell you?" It's like
you got about 300 phones across the country doing all at the same time now because of your voice. Just
Yep.
I need Siri to have your voice. That's what I'm going to ask him now. I was like, "Hey Siri, I want Arthur Miller to answer me." Oh man! I'd ask Siri something to be like, "Oh man."
Yeah. We got to hang, man, so I can give you a few of my little slogans. My favorite is when I don't want to curse is that gummit. That gummit. I'm gonna put a few of them together for you. That gummit and trying to think of another one. Tim and his team, he probably heard quite a few of them.
I probably done heard them all over the years, buddy.
That's pretty funny. Well, anyways, we got to get back to Atlanta and Birmingham. So I'm gonna start calling you Siri. That's gonna be your new nickname.
Oh Lordy.
Oh jeez.
So
anyways,
Tim,
back to you, Timmy. Atlanta and Birmingham.
Tim, where are you?
So I am in the parking lot of an undisclosed poker game location. You know what Thursday nights are normally reserved for.
That's right.
So I'm sitting in my truck, just not too far from the house, but undisclosed location.
I just thought you were trying to be Fegley in your get up. I mean, everybody here watching knows, like, hey man, he's where Fagley normally is for these Thursday night
Does
nights.
does that help any at all? Or is
Hey,
that
there we
worse?
go. It's Jimmy. No, that's all right.
Doesn't make you look better if that's what you're
No,
asking.
there is no chance of helping that at all. No
So,
chance of helping that.
so why don't you tell us a little bit about Atlanta, Birmingham, what you got going on this year, how the chapters work together, and
Yeah, so I'll start with Atlanta. We've got off to a pretty good start. Uh, had really good turnout the first couple of events. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our event for this weekend. We had some maintenance issues with the course and kind of worked with them to get it rescheduled for November. So we'll be looking forward to returning there. And it's probably, honestly, that golf course with bent grass greens, it's probably a better time to play it anyway. So those greens will be fantastic in November. Yeah. So got an event in Atlanta or in Birmingham this weekend, just south of Birmingham, Timberline Golf Course in Pelham. Probably about as far south as we go in the Birmingham market, or really in either market, just south of Birmingham. Uh, Try to keep everything north in both markets for the most part. Typically, we don't run events on the same days. This was kind of the only one of the year that we would have had on the same day. That both been on Sunday. We do a lot of cross promotion. I mean, it's 2.5 hours, city point to city point, and we go from there and things like that. So we go, you know, try to get everybody coming. We usually have probably, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 15 players that play both events on the weekends if we schedule them right, because they're within driving distance. They do or don't have to stay in a hotel, whatever. So we try to take advantage of the closeness.
no, absolutely. Well, why don't you tell a little bit? I know you had a great private club on your schedule last Wednesday. Atlanta
Yeah,
National,
so
a really good spot.
yeah,
You got some great privates in the Atlanta area.
yeah. So Atlanta National is a special place. It is my favorite setup on a golf course.
He's talking. I'm like,
Yeah,
stall.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, it's probably my favorite setup on the golf course. It's a Georgia fairways, bent grass greens. Everything's in perfect shape right now on that golf course. They're getting ready to hold a PGA qualifier here in the next few weeks, so greens were a little slow compared to what they normally are. But they had punched them about a month ago. They'd grown back in perfect, and they were just slow. If we played it next week, they would probably be almost as fast as what you're watching Rory chip it over the green on and into the pond this weekend. So that's really fantastic. We got a lot of courses in the Peachtree City in Atlanta, Peachtree City area south of Atlanta, that are all private. We're working on growing that area up. We've been really blessed with the club core relationship over there. Uh, and then in Birmingham, we've always got farm links on the schedule. The deal with farm links, the day we have it, the tee time after ours is $150 more than the price of the tournament. So
Wow.
it's kind of crazy. They're good to us. We've had a relationship with them since before, good and Four Golf and all the guys that started going in. YouTubers have moved in, so they've kept the relationship with us. So we've had really good luck there. Playing some other good golf courses. The hidden gem on our schedule, and I think Arthur's going to get to finally come over and play it this year because we moved off of finals weekend, is Limestone Springs. That golf course is something special. When it first opened about 10 or 15 years ago, it was the number one course in Alabama for a while. It went through some downtime where it really wasn't much to talk about at all. Nobody wanted to play it. And then we boomed, somebody bought it and boomed it back. And now I would put it up against any course in the state. It is absolutely special. It's UAB's home course now, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Nice. Very, very cool. Well, I appreciate, Tim, you jumping on to talk about chapters. Arthur, you as well. Siri. Hey, Siri, appreciate you coming on tonight. Gosh. You remember ways like back in the day, like you could pick like different like celebrities and their voice would navigate you around. I always picked the drill sergeant because it was like the best one. Loved it. You like yell at you need to turn left right now.
Phil still has someone like that. He has Ahmed.
I know.
From Jeff Dunham. I cannot stand riding with him when he has that turned on.
It's so funny. And I'm just like, now I'm like, you still use Waze. No, I'm just kidding. So I guess that technically that's the official navigation platform of the APT because Mark, our CNO, uses ways and still manages to get Chris lost about 50% of the time. So it happens. That'd be a whole nother, like, there's a whole episode right there to talk about
Oh my god.
travel stories with Mark.
I told Chris now they can start coming whenever they drive through Memphis. Just ride through here and scoop me up. I go wherever they go with them.
There we go.
Yeah.
So be careful, man.
Be careful with that statement, Arthur.
So it doesn't sound like a terrible plan to us. But anyways, we got lots to talk about. We got handicaps to talk about, Fegley. And then we're going to talk about pace of play. We're going to dive into the wonderful members group post later on. So we got a lot coming up. But first, we got a message from friends at 200. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, Mr. Fowler? Aren't you forgetting something?
Thanks, man.
And we're back. My wife's running away. So, anyways. Handicaps, Fegley. We're moving on to handicaps. So, she did come to bring wine. So, I appreciate it.
All right. Ooh.
From Kerr Sellers, by the way. A little shout out to Kerr Sellers. Christy Kerr, obviously, you know, from being LPGA Hall of Famer. Makes a really good wine. So, be on the lookout for some opportunities to partner with them with APT. We love those guys. Very good people. So, anyways, done with the shout out. Handicaps. So
it's all good.
Let me ask you this, Fegley.
Yes, sir.
So we're getting in. We sent out the membership welcome email to 37 of the chapters. The dynamic content was correct. To 9,
yes,
it was
37 of 46.
37 for. I mean, if we were doing any other sport besides sending emails, like, we'd be really successful. We're like the Golden State Warriors of the early 2000s or the Bulls of the 90s. But I think you're supposed to be more accurate than that with emails. So we apologize to 9 chapters affected.
It's the beauty of automation. When your automation doesn't automate, it's like, whoops.
Is it bad that I told Nashville? Because Nashville is one of them. I'm like, you really don't want Joe to be your chapter owner. It's fine. No, I'm just kidding. Joe Smalira, you're lucky I didn't give you his contact.
That's right.
Totally joking. It's our fault. We'll get it fixed. Actually, it's Constant Contact's fault, but we'll take responsibility for it.
That's right.
And we'll be sending a mulligan hopefully as soon as tomorrow. We got a little bit of recoding we have to do in the email because we have to basically rebuild it from scratch to make it work. So that being said,
I hope it works. But we're from
right. If not, they'll be like, y'all are hitting a small bucket off the first tee today.
No, we won't be sending it until we know it's good.
Oh, yeah. Correct. 100%, Fegley. And I've already worked on testing procedures. But
there we go.
That being said, what do you think? And the only reason I mentioned the email is because we've had like 500 responses to the handicap questionnaire from new players, which is awesome. So thank you guys for sending those responses. Fegley will be happy about it in about 24 hours once he gets a little bit more sleep. As he's been reviewing each of those all day. But what do you think is the most confusing things for players about the APT handicap system against Jen and all this other stuff? So where should we start?
Well, I think the first thing to start is what we use outside the APT information for, right? So once we get your information originally, whether it's Jen, whether it's any other vendors and sites, or it's the handicap survey itself if you don't have an index, we're using that information to initially place you. Once that occurs, unless there are some rare circumstances, but once that process is done, I really don't care about your outside indexes, right? I care about what your APT index is, and we care about the important note that Chris just made: non-validated status versus validated status.
So hold on a second. So what does validated status mean? How do I get validated?
So after 7 rounds, you become validated and your APT index is locked, or not locked. I guess, it establishes you that we have had enough data and enough information that we're not going to worry about disqualifications. We're not going to worry about things of that nature. We have enough information on you that whatever your index happens to be, that's what it is. That's where you get stated, and that's your protection.
We'll say it this way: before you're validated, we look at every piece of data we can find to make sure you're in the right division. So, for example, if you're new and you say, or you play one round with us and then you don't play for a year, and we see your USJ index and it's a +3, you're going to play in Division 1 regardless of what you shot the one round you played with us last year. Once you're validated and played 7 rounds within obviously a reasonable amount of time, we're looking just at your APT index, as it is the most accurate, because it just measures how you're doing in tournament scores and tournament conditions under our rules from our distances, all of that.
Yep.
As opposed to the GIN, which is good, but you also have the ability to manipulate. You don't have to test the score. We don't know whether you gave yourself 4 footers or not, or whether you counted your penalty strokes, or all this other stuff that we get emails about all the time.
Yes. Correct. So that was the main thing is getting folks to understand that, as a lot of us that have been around for a while, the APT index is what it is. Some new folks, as they're joining, if they've played in club play or they've played in net events or things of that nature, they're going to be very attuned to their GIN and pay attention to the GIN of others. But once we've got established and you're validated and played with us a while, that's what the focus is going to be on. So that's one of those important things to get out there. Some other things, in the members manual, you've got the number of scores that get used in your calculation and how the calculation is done. And that's one of those things that happens is, over time, players have different scores. They're like, well, I haven't been shooting well. Well, because we use the best of formula, your index, just because you shoot a high score doesn't mean your handicap's going to go higher. So that's something to look at, just so you understand how that works. And then we also have the division movements. During that non-validated state, we're going to move players quickly, both up a division, but also down a division. We ask, like, if you get moved up during your non-validated status, we ask that you play 2 events in the better division, see where your index shakes out, and we'll move you accordingly, because that time period is really volatile. We've had member feedback where we don't want players, we've been told pretty clear that if an index is below the threshold, players don't want to see those type of players in their division. So we move them quickly. But then at the same point in time, when their index changes after they've played a couple rounds, we'll allow them to move back. Again, that's kind of what that validation process is. It's a quick moving process until you get to that 7th round. So that's that. And then, one of the key things is email handicaps@aptgolf.org. That's the relegation process. We need the emails. We do it every Wednesday. So as long as you're getting it in sometime during Wednesday during the day, you'll generally get on the list. We'll review you and we'll get back to you as soon as you can. But if you want to request, go ahead and put that request in on a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, whatever, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can after our handicap.
Well, I'm going to bring up a question, Fegley, and I'll take a shot at it, and then I'll let you take a shot at it. But I think it's an interesting question. Rick Lee wants to know if he takes a whole year off from the tour, or your old scores are gone. So a couple things to talk about here. Number one, if you haven't played in 90 days, handicap committee, I should say the competition committee, will take a cursory review of your scores. If that's something you want to look at, you can certainly request it. We look at it typically in an 18-month window. So not just a year, but an 18-month window. The reason for that is we want to basically cover, 2 seasons, in a cursory look, but certainly we'll look at if scores warrant, if new data is available. Certainly have no problem wiping scores from 18 months ago. We've had that happen several times. this year already, where people have come back after being gone for 2 or 3, even 4 years at times. And obviously someone's index on either another tour or their index in USGA is going to be much more accurate depiction of their skill set than what they shot on our tour in 2021 or 2020
or 2022 or whenever.
And so we certainly look at that to get the best information. If that's something you're interested in, certainly just shoot an email to handicaps@aptgolf.org. We're happy to take a look. Obviously we want the handicap number to be the most relevant to your skill level, so that you're competitive in the division that you're placed in.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, but that's a good question. That's one of those things that, we reevaluate, once players have been gone, we'll take a look at everything available and basically.
And another good question coming in from Gus.
All right.
You could call this the Gus McSpanky rule, I guess. So points do not travel down with you. That's the first point of it. So points won in Division 3 do not go with you if you choose to go to Division 4. Certainly what will let you relegate if the numbers show it and your skill level warrants it, a relegation. However, you don't get to take your points earned in a better division downward. Your points will travel up with you if you get promoted.
Yep. 100%. And that's one of the things that we ran into. The reason that was an adjustment from last year's rule, where we were allowing points to travel down, but what we were finding is that we were in really interesting situations where a player was had established a lot of points, was going to be leading those Player of the Year contests, or make a really big impact in them, and hadn't played with those particular players. So it was something that we looked at, that it's like, hey, you can't get the whole enchilada. You can't have your cake and eat it too if you are moving down to a less competitive, a higher handicap division. You need to be able to go down, which is fine because you're not competing at that other level, but you're not going to be able to take those points earned. You're going to have to go earn the Player of the Year. So that was one of those things that we adjusted over the years. But with the multiplier, when you go up, we never saw that impact. It's something that was really drastic on those contests. So that's why that is done that way. Right, Timmy?
Correct. And then one other thing to talk about as well, while we're kind of doing this, we've mentioned the word relegation quite a bit. And we were also referencing when we use GIN and other information. One thing to keep in mind when we do look at relegations as well, we're also going back and looking at that outside information again to ensure that we're not getting conflicting data, that, just because you've had a few bad rounds with us, you're still capable of going low. We're not going to in the short term when the law should not be moved down.
Right.
Yep. And to answer Gus's question, though, during the validation process or not during the validation process, if you're moving divisions, your points aren't moving down.
Correct. And there's a reason for that. It's obviously, if you feel like you can earn points in Division 3, why are you trying to take those down to Division 4?
Right.
Yep.
That's the reason why. So you get one or the other. It is meant to serve as a deterrent to those people that are trying to straddle the line in the fence, get an advantage against weaker competition. That's what we want to avoid. Certainly want to reward you as you move up and progress how we would like to do it. And certainly don't want to reward you when you want to go down and beat up. Like if I wanted to come down to Division 5 and whoop up on Arthur, because I know he 4-putts on the 18th hole of majors.
Wow.
I can do it if my handicap's 19, but I don't get to bring my points down when I do it.
That's right.
As long as I don't make my nickname 4-putt, I'll be fine.
No, it's definitely Siri.
Oh man.
So, but anyways, Rex makes a good point. If you're winning significant points in Division 3, your handicap's not going to be in Division 4. that is also part of this equation. Didn't spend a ton of time. But let's talk about pace of play, Fegley, because 130 comments in the members group today.
Hey,
yeah.
So I've got a question about this before we start on this, because this refers to the members group, kind of. There's a golf course that used to be in Panama City called the Ombre, and they had 27 holes. The names of each holes were the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I feel like that's what y'all got in the Facebook based off your post that you made, Matt.
Completely fair. So,
Yep.
Completely fair. Well, first of all, guys, wasn't a policy like we're not like passively aggressive figuring out how to enter a policy. For those of you that are freaking out about, oh, you're going to start finding people and you lose a bunch of people, the only people we were going to find would be the slow players that we would rather them quit and not tick off the rest of our members than keep them around. So, but we're not doing that. If we're going to get to that point, I'll be honest, I'm just going to ask somebody not to come back. But I will tell you, at the last two majors, I've had two people tell me when getting two-stroke penalties that they didn't care. So obviously, if you don't care about a penalty, we need to find something you do care about, because, I don't like jumping on a plane and flying to Utah to get, you know what I mean? To get told that I don't care and you don't care that you ruined the experience for, 80 people behind you. Like, that's not going to fly. So that's the reason for some interesting posts. Obviously, people have been talking about it, asking about solutions. Yeah, we can talk about it. I will just tell you from my perspective, I've played every level of golf there is to play, minus, the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour. For you, those of you on here that have done that, congratulations. But I will tell you that, number one, pace of play is an issue at every level of golf. It's not an APT issue. It's not an AM Tour issue. It's a go out and play on a Saturday issue at your public golf course. But here's the deal. Like, we have people, I don't want to be responsible. Well, the rules of golf make you responsible to make sure your group plays in a reasonable amount of time. It gives you suggestions. But number one, and I love the suggestion because people are like, well, we get more technology to manage it. Guys, it is really simple. Keep up with the group in front of you. If you're playing in a tournament situation and you're not waiting, you are literally slowing down pace of play for every group behind you on the golf course. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love Chad Crawford's comment earlier. He said the solution is to never get behind, because when one group gets behind and looks for a golf ball for 10 minutes in the junk, that hole is going to play 10 minutes slower for what you delayed the rest of the day. There's no reason you should ever get more than a hole behind if you do things according to the rules. You can literally make a 26 and stay in position by at least a half a hole by not looking for your golf ball for more than 3 minutes.
That was one of the things that did get brought up in the members group, where people were talking about, 3 minutes and all that other stuff. That's the key. The key is to hold to the 3 minutes, right?
3 minutes.
Mean, we've talked about it at majors. We've talked about the egg timer. We've talked about the timers on your iPhone. Like, it's 3 minutes. Just that's it. And in some instances, like at Black Desert this weekend, it was pretty simple.
And I'll be honest, guys, it doesn't benefit you for 3 minutes. We make all of the fescue a red penalty area for this reason, meaning you have the option to take relief from it. If you can't find it in 30 seconds, you don't want to hit it. I assure you.
That's true.
It's not going to go well for you to hack it out of 8 inches of junk that you can't see the ball until you almost step on it. Like, if you can't find it in a minute, drop a ball and move on, man.
Yep.
You don't want to find it. Free advice.
I think I can speak on this because I was at, I think it was the shows, and our group got penalized at the end of the round, 2 strokes. And I was quite disappointed at first. But I had to look at it from a different perspective. If, as a player in my group, if I'm not telling the slow guy, hey, look, you got to speed up, then I'm just as responsible. Because it's my job, too, to tell the guy, hey, man, come on, we got to go, And if that means me getting in the car and leaving them, hey, or getting out and walking, then that's just what you got to do, But you can't let that person be slow and not say, you don't have to be mean and ugly about it or whatever. You just say, hey man, we're gonna have to speed up and keep up the pace or whatever.
Well, the biggest thing is saying that you don't have to be confrontational, but
No.
where big gaps created, it's always more than one thing. It's always a slow player, and then everybody's sitting around waiting for them
Yeah.
and not playing ready golf. That's what creates the big problem. And so if somebody's doing that, like if you want to solve the problem and they start screwing around, I don't even want to say names because their names coming to my head. And and they're screwing around and it's not ready and their routine takes a minute, your routine takes 15 seconds, go through your routine and hit. Don't speed up and freak out about it. And if we put you on the clock, it's not your routine that's the problem. I mean, very few of you, your routine might be the problem, but 90% of you, it's not your routine. It's card etiquette. It's playing ready golf. It's not walking across the freaking fairway without a golf club in your hand and only a rangefinder. It's not marking the freaking 18-inch putt that is straight in that you are probably going to have a better percentage of making if you just walk in and tap it in without thinking about it than grinding over it. It's reading your putts while other people are putting. Like it's everything you do prior to when it's your turn that creates a pace of play problem.
Hey, Matt, one thing I do know, the higher handicap guys that I've seen, that one of our problems for the most part is lack of knowledge on where we do scoring. Because for the high end golfers such as yourself that's played everywhere else, where do you do scoring? When you're keeping score, you do it on the green when you walk off. You do it on the next tee box.
Oh my gosh, the next tee box. So here's what's interesting. I love when Gus asks a great question. And then we'll get to Alderucci's comment. So one player is the problem. What are the remedies? This is key. If you want to know the ideal for me, if I'm running a tournament and you want to know how to make my day, is when they spend 3 minutes, I would walk up. So say it's Fegley. He's got the golf bag. He's at 3 minutes. I goes, hey man, it's 3 minutes. We got to move on. Don't confront him, and then I will go hit my shot. And if he continues to whine there and that gets us behind, when the marshal comes up, so you're all behind, and said, look, man, I told him it was 3 minutes, and he kept going and kept looking for his golf ball. You know what I mean? You acknowledge something in a non-confrontational way to let him know that it was their 3 minutes was up, and then moved on. When we come around and say something, as soon as I know that point, I'm turning straight to Fegley, and I am going to take care of the problem. But the problem is right now, when we come up on a lot of these groups, everybody's like, oh, we just had a bad hole. Like, what the problem is. Tell us what the problem is so that we can go to the group and say, look, man, if your group doesn't get back in position, you're getting the penalty individually. But when the group doesn't tell us what happens, we don't have cameras on every fairway and every green to watch. It doesn't have to be confrontational to say, hey, look, man, he's been looking at the ball in the woods for like 5, 6, 7 minutes every time. Like, that's all you need to say to us. That would help us. Absolutely would solve the remedy. But if everybody just goes, I'm not going to say anything, and like I'm not going to speed up, like somebody told me, like, well, I'm not going to speed up because we're behind. Well, at that point, we really don't have much we can do except penalize the group. So it doesn't have to be confrontational to say, all it has to be is like, look, man, I told him it was 3 minutes and he looked for his golf ball for 5 more minutes. We'll work to catch up. That's all you need to tell me. And at that point, you're off the hook.
And I think that the key statement is, it's like we've had our previous lives where we've been talking about rules and making sure that we're talking about that. This is the same thing, right? Like we are all adults. We all have situations that we need to address, and you just got to address it. It's like, guys, we are behind. Let's get moving, and then be the one that walks to the tee. Like, I hadn't taken the time to write my post up, but yes, Matt Miller, snitches get stitches.
Not being a snitch, man. It's
not just on the APT, sir.
Here's the thing. Like, I mean, I've played in U.S. Open qualifiers where my butt's been on the clock because of some Yahoo college kid that doesn't know how to play golf. Like, the point is, the best remedy to do it is to play ready golf. When you get to your ball, even if you're 30 yards ahead of them and they're screwing around, which they always are, go ahead and hit and drive to the green and stare at them. Like, I'm being serious, because you may find it a little bit uncomfortable, but I promise you, as the slow player, it is way more uncomfortable for them.
Yep.
Another thing too is if someone loses the golf ball, instead of the whole group looking for the golf ball to start with, everybody else in the group should play their shot. That doesn't happen very often either. And then go help that guy look for the golf
That's
ball.
where you get a big gap is you got to hit your shots up and then go help for the remainder of the 3 minutes. And by the way, if all 4 of you lose your golf ball in the same hole, it's 3 minutes total. It's not 3 minutes for each person. And it's not an entitlement. You're not entitled to get 3 holes behind and say, well, I'm playing within 40 seconds. I just suck. No. All it is, guys, and we're going to continue to talk about this till we're blue in the face. Your only responsibility as a group from a pace of play perspective is to be waiting on the group in front of you. If you're doing that, you're in position. If you're not doing that, you're not. If you can't see the group in front of you, you have a very big problem.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, part of it too, is if folks get in the habit of when you arrive at the tee box and you look, there's no group in front of us. We need to go.
Yeah, dude. And here's the other thing.
And because that's what happens a lot of times. They're like, oh, are we behind? Well, do you see the group? Oh, I didn't notice. Well, guys, part of our responsibility is you don't just walk up to the tee and hit. You walk up to the tee and make sure that
I got to say this, because I've been watching these comments in the group, and they're like, oh, 430 is not reasonable. Like, people are like, we should play threesomes. Well, I hate to break it to you guys. The days of playing tournaments on public golf course and threesomes are done.
It's over.
For a very long time. Golf courses are not going to do it unless you want your entry fees to double. We're not playing in threesomes because they're going to sell you 4 spots, whether we put 3 people in the group or 4. So, but my point is getting to it from, I've been running these things now and not playing for 5 years. So I've been watching him. And what I will tell you, the difference between a 4.5 hour round and a 5 hour and 10-minute round is 2 minutes a hole. That's 30 seconds a person per hole. And I will tell you that 90% of the time, it is literally watching people do stupid things, like showing up to the tee. And I literally will time a group. I had to time a group in St. Louis last year. I about lost my mind. They sat in their carts for 3.5 minutes before they even got out of the carts. If you multiply that times 18, that is an hour difference of pace of play. Like, when someone gets to the tee, if you made the birdie, get out, figure out what you're doing, and hit. If you want the honor, you need to go. Don't sit there for 2 minutes and screw around on your scorecard and do all this other crap and then go to the tee. Like, and if you're going to do that, that's fine. Like, I'll be honest, Uncle Kevin, I love my Uncle Kevin. He's one of my favorite people on planet Earth. If I play golf with him, I have the honor all day, regardless of what score he makes, because he's playing around with his cigar. He's got to figure out, tweak with his glove. He's got to pull out his yardage book, even though he's played the golf course 100,000 times. Like, and that's cool. But the point is, I get out and I hit because I want to keep pace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And the thing is, somebody commented in there, well, that's not a tour experience. I hate to break it to you from somebody who played professional golf. It happens all the stinking time. All the time.
Players go ahead after they've putted out. In college tournaments, you walk to the next tee
100%.
and you hit.
Yeah, they're not even waiting for the finish.
No.
So,
no. Now, we don't, that's kind of an extreme, but that is something that people need to understand. That's how you push it, and that's how you get caught up, is you do things. These guys and gals in that situation, they're not rushing through their routine. That's the number one thing that everybody needs to understand. We're not asking people to rush through your routine. It's about eliminating all the other stuff.
Right.
Guys, if you're behind, forgo the cart, forgo the turn. you're not entitled to get that drink or whatever, right? Like that's something that can save you some time.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
the thing is, I'm trying to even think how to. Hold on. I saw Alderici's comment. I got distracted. Yes, I did play mini tours. I did keep my amateur status, but yes, I did tee it up in professional golf for a season. It was fun. It was a good time. But the whole thing about like people come up to us when we get on the clock. Here's my favorite. Which, by the way, when we make a post, if you're the slow player, don't send me a Facebook message and tell me some sob story or give me some other thing. Like the deal is on a golf course, you're either in position or you're not. It's black and white. And the point is if you're doing things the right way, it's not hard to stay in position. Period. Like I realize it may be hard for some of you, which means you need to look at your routines of what you're doing. It is not hard. I guarantee the four of us could follow any foursome on the tour and have zero problem staying in position because we're doing things a certain way. That being said, don't come to me when we tell you your group's a hole and a half behind and we ruined your experience because you had to speed up and rush your routine. You put yourself and your group put yourself in the position to need to do that. You need to be proactive before you get 2 holes behind. It's that simple.
yes.
Like,
Yep.
just saying.
That is correct. It's some self-awareness. You know, don't get 2 holes behind. Don't get a half a hole behind. Just, you know, so those are some of the things that will help. Is if you know you look at the tee box, you get to the tee box on every hole, and you go, guys, we're not waiting. We need to go. You know, just be conscious of it.
The point is you got to keep moving all the time. Like there's way too much standing around and waiting for somebody else because you're not sure whose turn it is. Like play ready golf. I mean, even if you go to the Masters and watch those guys this week on golf's biggest stage, you will see them playing ready golf all around that place because they want to stay in position. I will tell you, I was sitting on 13 last year, literally watched a guy chip it hit it left. The pin was front right over that ridge. A guy hit it long left in the bunker and literally chipped it into Rays Creek and had to figure out what his options were, where he could go. The player was John Rahm, by the way. And while he was figuring out, everyone in his group went out and putted.
Playing.
Eventually, John Rahm went to a drop zone 50 yards away, chipped up, and then putted and kept moving, and they stayed in position. The point is, a lot of times with these groups that complain about slow play on APT, everyone would sit around and wait for the guy to make a decision, and that's 5 to 6 minutes that didn't need to happen. No one changed their routine. We're not asking you to change your routine. We're asking you to change your behavior on the golf course that will do things that will allow you to stay in position. I will tell you, it is not hard to stay in position if you're doing the right things. I think one of the best tests, Chris loves me talking about this all the time. When you get to a par 4, you should always be waiting in the fairway. If you're in position waiting for a group to clear the green to hit into a par 4 and you get to the next tee and they're not clearing the fairway or they're already on the green of the next hole, by the time you get there, your green routines are really bad. You're wasting too much time. Like you've got to, like that's part of people like we want a tournament experience. We want a tour experience. Part of that is learning how to play your game, but also stay in position. Because everybody wants to I want the tour experience. Like it's talked about all the stinking time.
Well, and we all have our opinions about the tour experience and their pace of play issues as well. So
someone said downward dog. That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
You know.
So I think it's funny.
And,
like Steve Daniels,
and here, let me.
These videos get a lot more views than what he thinks.
Well,
so we'll keep making content.
But it's not only that, okay? It's the multiplication effect, right? Guys, we're talking about it here. Talk about it in your groups. Talk about it with the players that you're playing with. Take this message as the ones that, look, there's a lot of folks that are on here a lot. And it's a lot of the same faces and the same names. Take that message.
Back to your local chapter.
Back to your local chapter. Back to your foursomes. Back to the groups you're playing on. Hey, guys. Pace of play's a thing. One of the things this is a great opener, right? One of the things I learned was XYZ, right? Hey, I'm going to go ahead and hit because, the fairway's free. Let's go, guys. I'm getting out of my cart. That's some of the things that help make us faster so we don't get behind. Also, just noting that, hey, we're not waiting. We need to catch up. Things of that nature. But no, I totally get that point of view too about, about getting the message out. And that's part of it, why we're spending a lot of time on it tonight, discussing it, is because, it's important, and, we need to rock and roll and continue to push folks, set the expectation. So.
Yes. But 4.5 hours is an eternity of time if you're doing things the right way to get a round done. 5
100%.
hours is an eternity of time plus an additional 30 minutes.
Yep.
So anything over that just completely unacceptable. So
unless you're like Fagley and taking an hour and a half break to do a live during the middle of the round.
Yeah, Fagley should still be able to beat 5 hours even doing the live. So
yeah. I don't know. There's nowhere really to go, so I'm going to go catch up with the boys, and we'll have some fun. But
anyways, we got 2 minutes for questions.
We've had some good ones.
We've had some good ones. Questions from anybody but Alderucci.
Oh, man.
He said, Tuesday, did you enjoy getting booted?
Booted?
I'm not even sure what that means.
Me neither.
Hey, Matt, congratulations, man, on winning at Red Rock Tour.
Thank you. We're rocking and rolling, baby.
So, Fagley, I know you shared with me what your actual goal was for that event. Did you share it with the individual, what your goal was for that event?
Oh, yeah, we got a great video.
Hey, I just want to say, normally when I take abuse like this, I ask someone to make a wager because I usually don't take this kind of abuse for free. So anytime Alderucci wants to step into the big leagues and put some money on the line, I'll be happy to practice for a couple weeks and let him know that I can still play golf.
Oh, I love it.
I have a cameraman for that.
I might have you a 4-ball partner in the wings if you need one there, Bender.
Gotcha.
And it's not me. It's not me, but I know him very well.
So that was a very
I'm feeling balls will be going left to right.
It would be cut. It would be cutting 90% of the time. Yes, sir.
Hey, what about this team event, American Dunes, man?
What? Oh, yeah. We were going to talk about that. American Dunes, the Wingman team event, 80-player field, presented by Swag. So T-Gift's going to be legit. Team event 2 days, 1 day Scramble Day, 1 day 4-ball. If you've played American Dunes, you'll appreciate Scramble Day on the first day to figure it out. And it's going to be fun, including the entry fee is going to be a nice little, reception on Saturday night. And we have a lot of fun.
Arthur, are we going to go make up one of the teams?
Man, I'm trying, man. That's my anniversary is on the 20th. That's
Ooh.
Well, my buddy that likes to hit the ball from left to right has the same problem. That's why me and him are not going to do it. So,
dang, man.
All I got to say is Michigan is beautiful in August. If you need to take your lady friend up there, you don't necessarily have to lose.
That is a good point. That is a
Michigan's
good point.
the most beautiful place on earth from about July 15th to August 15th.
So, Minder, did you have tacos at the turn at Black Desert?
I did not. I did not get out there.
Yes, I did have the birria tacos, and those were my favorites. I had the fish tacos, the pork tacos, and the birria tacos because I did play the golf course twice. So
Yeah, I'm really disappointed that Brodsky hasn't commented in the chat on the director of everything comment. That was for him tonight.
he might have got on a little late.
He goes, I'm director of nothing, Matt. I'm director of nothing.
Vaguely, if you're talking about turn tacos, do they compare to the home course turn tacos? Breakfast tacos.
The home course breakfast tacos.
Your home course.
Oh, dude. No, but nobody beats Emma's breakfast burrito, but
Oh yeah, sorry, breakfast burrito. My bad.
yes, burrito.
Yeah.
I will be there on Sunday. Let's go. Oh man, but no, guys, San Diego is lovely, or Carlsbad, or whatever technical town I'm in. It's beautiful. I'm looking forward to it. Less than a month.
Should be a lot of fun. Well, anyways, tune in next week. We'll actually be home next week too. It's probably the last time this year we'll be in the office 2 days in a row for the live. I mean, obviously you don't have an office, Fegley. Yours is your car, or golf course, or wherever. But I'll be in the office next Thursday, so that'll be great. I think, hopefully. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll keep talking about stuff, and we will see you next week.
Get there. Get there. Get there.
Get there. Those two words are said by golfers all over the world as a sign of respect, a whisper of encouragement, a roar of support. It's what we say to our competitors, our loved ones, our heroes. It's what we say to ourselves.
Get there.
At Worldwide Golf, we're like you. We strive to improve our game, to elevate our standards, and transcend our limits. Our commitment is to the journey, to the tradition, and to the spirit of golf that unites us all. Since 1963, Worldwide Golf has been there to supply golfers with the equipment and apparel they need to drive their journeys forward. With over 100 retail locations spread across 10 retail brands and the best golf e-commerce websites, we have exactly what every golfer needs for however they choose to play. All of this done to help golfers who want to be their best get there. We are golfers, and we're here for golfers. We built a brand around evolving the game and having what you need to play your way, and it shows in every product we offer and every experience we provide. Our goal is singular, to help you get there. Though the game may change, our mission remains. To stand beside you, to grow with you, to celebrate every victory and learn from every shot.